Hello, everybody, and welcome again. It is Monday, and this is episode 9 of the GGRated.net live show. And I'm the host, Iceman, and joining me again, as always, we got Hydra. How are you doing, my
Uh,
friend?
Hello, doing fairly well. A bit of a cold, but I still have a voice for today, so it's cool.
That's good. Hopefully, you'll make it through all the exciting things we have to talk about today. I'm actually a
Oh
little
yeah.
bit fatigued myself. Been running pretty low on sleep lately. Last night I couldn't sleep hardly at all, and I've been having some sinus headaches, I guess, due to the allergies I'm having. So that's
Extending spring break. I
yeah,
know.
a bit annoying. Also joining us is our friend from Sweden, Sebastian. How are you doing?
I am doing well. I had to run over half of town to get here in time, and I almost made it. But I'm very happy to be here with you guys on a stream that doesn't lag, unlike some other ones lately.
Uh-oh. Oh yeah, true. Well, don't say anything yet. I mean, you're gonna curse us here, man. Don't
A
start me
bit.
off like this.
Let's go for it. Come on.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'd say the biggest piece of news that we have for this week is the events over in Korea, and I'm talking about the GSL team event, the World Championship, as well as the individual matches. There's plenty of stuff happening there, uh, plenty of matches to cover, and lots of interesting drama. I would say not too much drama, but a lot of interesting upsets at least in the team event on the final day, and plenty of sweet action to cover in the individual matches. So let's get right into that. Were you
Yeah.
guys able to keep pace with any of those events?
Keep pace? No. Trying to watch a bit here and there? Yes.
Uh,
Well,
sounds
I
sounds sort of like how it went for me, but we'll go for it anyways, huh?
yeah, I sat down and watched almost all of it. Yeah, but my mind is a bit fuzzy because I followed this and MLG and all that stuff. But yeah, I still have a fairly decent recollection of what went on there.
All right, sounds good. Let's go for the team event day one first. Even though we did cover that a bit last time, I suppose we can just cover we can cover some of the results
Yeah.
real quick before we get into the last few matches. Um, Actually, the World All Stars did quite well. They took the early lead and they were up um, quite a bit in the beginning, and then things started to level out there. But I mean, we had great play coming from lots of the foreigner players, especially Sen and TT1 were leading the charge in the beginning. And eventually, in the later stages, we had some sweet moves from the Ukrainian bad boys, I'll call them. Duckload White Raw and Demaga. We'll talk a little bit more later on about Demaga, but White Raw OGSMC, that was a pretty sick match.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
any of you guys watch the stream, I know you can catch the bit of celebration. It was a prequel leading up to the match. OGSMC came out with a sign showcasing his fortitude and his awesomeness, and displaying it to the world team, talking some pregame smack there. But
Yeah.
White Raw
Um,
had some other
Iceman,
opinions.
I, Iceman, you got a VOD of that.
Yep, I have it playing right now.
I think you have it there running. Yeah, there
Here
you
we
go.
go.
Look at him with his board. This was so awesome. Look at him just showing off with his awesome board. And then White Rod just, well, paid him back in the end.
Yeah, he gave him the motion that he was snapping his
Ooh,
board in half.
Grandpa toss.
It was fun to watch. It was really cool to watch. Then White Rock comes out and just says, "Yeah, see, I'll just break your board." Yeah.
Yeah, one of the more interesting PvPs that I've ever seen. We've seen White Raw do. I've seen some matches or shoutcast matches where he's done dropship play from the Warp Prism before, but I don't think we've seen anything like this in GSL or any of these high caliber matches. So
Mm,
this was something fresh and new, and it was quite exciting to see. It was
yeah.
great play from White Raw. What do you guys
Yeah,
have
it
to
was
say?
Well, I found the micro just impressive. He was able to just micro, and it was the way that he had at hand at that moment to actually get his stalkers to reach MC's units while he was fleeing off his base, and to avoid also the force fields. He basically was constantly micro his warp prism to pick up units and keep them keep the pace so they could reach and shoot down the units from MC. And it's something that you don't see that often. I mean, was just an impressive display of micro, and doing that against MC, I'm pretty sure that even MC was impressed witnessing that, because it's not something that you see, not even at this high level. It shows that White Ra was on top of his game, and he had a strategy planned for that match that, as you guys know, being a team event, he was basically going for a single game, and if he does good and has another game, well, it will be fine, but basically he wants the surprise effect and uses a strategy specific for that game to surprise his opponent, and well, I guess it worked. MC got destroyed there, and by an impressive strategy by White Ra, so congrats to him.
Any thoughts, Sebastian?
Well, Hydra pretty much said it all right there. It's something that, I mean, dropship play and, sorry, I meant War Prism. Am I the only one? It's something we've seen Hydra. I mean, I remember even the beta, I was thinking, this is so Brood War-esque and so awesome, only that the dropship now rules. And it was so fun to see him actually perform that strategy, because that's not standard PvP whatsoever, though it may be. Perform that strategy against the king of Protoss and the best bad boy we got in the StarCraft 2 scene. MC has that title now. I don't care what anyone says. He's the Voldemort now. And to see him take him down, or at least use that move against him, that was just, it wasn't just ownage, it was style. I loved it. Grandpa Toss, he has our hearts.
It was epic. I loved every minute of it. Let's move on. Well, we know what happened. July took the next match, unfortunately, and then July just went on a tear, and he looked almost unstoppable. He proceeded to break through Hawk, Moonglade, and even Jinro, and then we had a surprise defender coming up. It was the last man standing for the world team, and I'm talking about MTW Demaga, and he proved his Zerg fortitude in
the beast from the east.
Yes, it was some great matchups. He took out July Zerg handily, and then in an insane game against I'm MVP, I mean, we saw the map Tal'Darim Altar was being cut in half by planetary fortresses by MVP, and Demago was just taking bases, cranking out tier 3 units, and it was back and forth the entire time. It was probably one of the best matches I've seen in the GSL yet.
Then he had an unfortunate event.
Yeah, an unfortunate event. I guess Blizzard had an update. People didn't factor this into the schedule, and the server went down. I guess there was a bit of a disconnection, and MVP dropped, and they had to do a regame, and Demaga ended up beasting the next game, no problem, and he went on to the final to face Nest-T, who we all know has or used to have a 100% Zerg versus Zerg win record in the GSL events, and Demaga tried to do what he did in the previous couple of games, but he fell short, unfortunately.
But it was a fairly close game, and first of all, I would like to just say that July was a beast, and he basically carried the Korean team for a little while there. He made the equivalent to an all-kill. He defeated 4 players in a row, and I mean, he defeated Huck, Moonglade, Jinro, so it was a really big face-off there with some top players. And well, then Demaga showed up and was able to destroy the Legend on that single match, and go for that epic, very long match with MVP. Unfortunately, they got disconnected, and the match had to be replayed and restarted. But at the moment that the match got disconnected, I mean, it was fairly balanced. People were debating that, saying that MVP might be on the lead, but Demago was just destroying a lot of planetary fortresses. I don't know, he could still go for a either side. I'm not sure exactly what the result would be from that one. I'm just disappointed that the game got interrupted, or else it would be probably one of the most epic matches we've been able to witness on the GSL. But still, Dimaga took the win, and then he faced Nasty on a ZVZ. And to this date, to the date where Dimaga played with Nasty had a record 100%. He was flawless on ZVZ, but Dimaga had the last word to say about that on the 1v1s, on the individual matchups that followed on the following days.
Definitely. Sebastian, were you able to see any of those matches? Any comments you want to make?
I was able to do catch a glance. That was one of the things I made sure to check out, though I must admit my schedule has been very condensed. But of course, it was sad that we had that disconnect. And I'm actually surprised that, I mean, we don't know the technical reason, so we can just speculate. But I am surprised that Blizzard do not take GOM TV broadcast into their deepest consideration when doing any sort of updates. I'm not totally clear on what actually caused it, but if it was because someone didn't know that tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands people were watching their game being played on their officially sponsored channel, that someone should get fired. So that's just that. The games in themselves, I just loved, even more than I loved seeing the actual action. I mean, Dimaga, he's such a beast. I love seeing him play. He's the Zerg I want to be. But even more so, I enjoyed seeing the global scene of StarCraft come together in an unprecedented way. We've already seen Koreans going to assembly, and soon, I mean, we all know what's happening in Stockholm on the 12th, and MLG, yada, yada. Now we saw the community has finally gone global. This is what we dreamt about in Brood War, and it's happening. It made me rejoice and gave me nerd tears.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because I actually have a picture up on the channel right now of all the players coming together for a nice photo at the end. And I mean, I thought that was really nice. That was really great to see that. And this is something that we haven't seen before in terms of the StarCraft esports competitive level. So it's really nice, as you said, to see something like this on this scale.
Yeah, that's the most beautiful thing about it, and it's so promising for people like us and many other watching this, etc., who have a dream of contributing to the community in any shape or form or degree. It's just there's so much room, there's so much potential for growth, and I love this game, and I love seeing what's happening with it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more.
That's enough of Gandalf for now.
All right. Yeah, guys, if you missed the World Championship team event, I highly suggest that you go back and check out the VODs, because this event was free, as you all know, and more importantly, it was a fundraiser for the people in Japan for the tragic event that took place there. So, I mean, this was really great, and I believe it was quite successful indeed.
Yeah, so, and for I'm sorry, for anyone that haven't realized this, you can just go on GOM TV website, and it's all the VODs free on high quality, HQ quality. You can watch everything for free. There's no payments, no nothing. So you could actually enjoy this moment where you actually see the international players, formerly known as foreigners, meeting up with the Korean pros and having some huge clashes there, some epic matchups. So go watch it. I would recommend that.
Definitely.
Totally.
It's gomtv.net, for any of you who are wondering.
Yeah.
Should we move on to the round of 16 for the individual matches?
Go for it.
All right, let's go for it here. Here we have day 1 of the round of 16. We have Liquid Hawk. He was lost to MVP 1-2. Startail July beating OGS Nada 2-0. We have Hoso San beating Duckload White Raw 2-1. And we have MTW Dimaga 2-1 beating Nesty. I don't know why I keep calling him MTM.
MTW. Just do it like this. Memorize that MTW means mortal teamwork, or I think it's that set. Mortal teamwork might be easier. And yeah, the games were awesome. You had already the epic July versus Nado once more, with July coming out on top once more. July was just very solid, and like I mentioned before, during that team event, he basically carried the Korean team to that final standoff that gave them the win. And then we had the ZVZ Demaga versus Nasty, which was really impressive. And the first time in a long time that Nasty actually lost a series on a ZVZ. So was just awesome to watch, especially because he was facing a player that I'm pretty sure that in Korea people heard about that name, but they didn't recognize the player or they didn't give credit to the player. And there was a lot of people surprised with the quality and just amazed to how close to the Koreans, the international superstars from StarCraft 2 are currently. Also, I think you have a VOD there of some, with a little brief presentation of Demaga versus Nesty.
I sure do. This is where he went 10 pool against Nesty's early hatch.
Yeah, this was awesome to watch because basically this is a bit bold. And Demaga had lost the previous match, and I think he just said, oh, I'm going to try it. I'm on this big stage here, the biggest one for StarCraft 2 currently. I'm just going to see if I can pull it out. And as you might imagine, I mean, if you already seen Jelizer making 6 pulls, he can do this, it's fine. And yeah, as you can see, he just went for a huge micro battle here. Took his time to place one spine crawler. That spine crawler that you see getting popped there on the creep, it's from Demaga. And basically he was trying to micro defend the spine crawler until it pops out to help him out destroying what's on the base from Nesty. As you might imagine, it's not much, spawning pool in the hatchery, but you had some massive micro battles here that ended up in favor of Demaga, and well, it was just impressive to watch, just really awesome, because it's one of those bold moves that you don't see every day. Some people like it, other people don't like it because it's really short, but I just loved it. It takes courage, and it needs to be a bold personality to just go for this on such a big stage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree fully.
Yeah, I mean, if Demaga consists of anything, then it's balls of Zerg steel.
He did very well.
Things, and he just pulls it off. And when he doesn't pull it off, well, he was damn near close. And he is a top-level Zerg player. Now, not just a foreigner good Zerg, he's a good Zerg in the new global scene, which we don't really have a name for yet. And he just does it with so much flair. I love it, and we need this kind of players who, just does the impossible or die trying. It's almost as good.
Yeah. It was really interesting to see just how resilient he was. I mean, I'm sure lots of people would be thinking that he's going to face up against Nasty. Okay, 100% win record. He already lost in the team event, and I mean, he just came out here with complete fury, and he won, and the well-deserved victories as well. He fought very well in all the games, and that day, Demaga was the better Zerg player.
Yeah, and on this third match that you can see here, people were commenting that basically he was trying to replicate the strategy that Nesty used on him on game 1 to put him down. So he was basically giving the poison, the venom that Nesty gave him for him to taste on game 1. He was giving a taste back to Nesty on this game 3 and actually gave him the final victory. So he won the series over Nesty, broke the unbeatable record that Nesty had. And I mean, it's an Ukrainian player that never played in Korea, that a lot of viewers, I'm sure, at least on the Korean side, weren't even aware of that, the fact that Demaga existed and he had this level of skill. So just a huge presentation for Demaga for Korea. And what I would like to see next is Demaga showing up for a GSL. Can I have that, please?
You can have that.
That would be sick. Yeah. Well played, the Demaga. Only foreigner in that group to advance. So, I mean, it's a shame that the other foreigners didn't do as well, but still, we have Demaga fighting.
But it was good.
Let's move to day 2. Look at the results. Round of 16, day 2, we have Marine King Prime beating Fnatic Sen 2-0. FXO Moonglade losing 1-2 to the TT1. We have OGS MC doing what he does best, 2-0 over Maro. And Liquid Jinro losing 0-2 to any Pro Prime.
Sad.
Yeah, sad. You want to make any comments about that, Sebastian? Because both your Swedish brethren here got knocked out, unfortunately.
Yeah, Unfortunately, I mean, no surprise, Marine King took down Fnatic Sen, who's an awesome player, but Marine King is just what he is, and that's a royalty. Moonglade being taken down by Fnatic. I didn't really know too much about Fnatic comparatively. I mean, I'm not too familiar with his style. And I mean, there were two foreigners fighting each other. One had to go down. Good for Fnatic. TT1, I mean. OGSMC taking down Moro. I mean, I knew this was going to happen. I was texting a friend of mine who was watching it at the same time, and he was so cheering for Moro. If you're watching this, you won. Too bad. And I mean, I think Moro is he's a force to be reckoned with, and soon he will be part of this epic thing that's going down in Sweden, by the way. And I was cheering for him, but I mean, MC, he was going to take him down. But I was having my hopes up for Jinro against any pro. I mean, that was not written in stone. That was not written in the stars. Jinro had the guts, the skills, and the balls necessary, and I was surprised and sad.
I was quite surprised as well. I mean, if you watched the videos afterwards, Jinro was obviously frustrated. You could see him; he was really angry with himself, cursing in the booth, and he was extremely frustrated. I know he's a hard worker, and he's very dedicated to what he does, and he doesn't like losing, and it showed with this match. I think he believed in himself that he was going to win, and he should have won, and it didn't happen, and he was extremely frustrated because he probably knows why.
Yeah. On the MC versus Moro, I mean, it felt that Moro was on a different level, you know, like MC was at least a couple of notches above him, and Moro clearly needs to keep insisting and practicing to get to the level where he can actually pressure MC and have some really close matches with him. And on this situation, it wasn't. It was clear MC took the win and was well deserved. I do like Moro, by the way, but well, he just needs to evolve as a player. He's still not ready for that. Jinro, we all know that he's good. He already had some really good results on the GSL, but on that day against any Pro Prime, things just didn't work. And like the Iceman was just commenting, at the end of the game, he was pissed. Okay? It was simple as that. You can see him just swearing or cursing something at himself. Basically just he couldn't believe that he actually failed. He was attempting something, he had a plan on his mind, he was convinced that plan would be working, and well, it didn't. Any Pro Prime was able to counter him, and he wasn't happy about it. Also might be from the glasses he was wearing all the time.
Yeah,
maybe he wasn't looking at the screen, probably. I don't know.
He had those shades on in the booth. I was wondering what was going on.
I mean, it's not the first player, especially on Brood War, you had some situations where the players have some different look, different style. I'm not sure exactly what his intention was with the glasses, but maybe to make him stand out compared with other pro gamers. I don't know. What I do know is that it didn't work. So next time, maybe no glasses and things might work better. Anyway, any pro deserves the win. Jinro tried it, but well, he just, on that day, any pro had the win and was dominating, and basically Jinro couldn't stand the pressure. And, well, he just was complaining, and he could only blame himself, I guess, because I guess that's exactly what he was doing inside that soundproof booth.
Real quick, were you surprised at all with the Marine King Prime versus Sen results? I didn't think it was going to be 2-0 personally, but I was wrong.
Yeah. Well, my opinion is that Sen is good enough to face against Marine King Prime and stand a good chance to win a best out of 3 over him. But, well, things didn't went that way. I mean, Sen didn't play perfectly, and Marine King Prime had what it takes to just counter him and destroy him. I would like to see at least a 2-1, which would be a sign that Sen was close enough. And, I mean, when I'm talking about Sen, I'm pretty sure that at least the veterans that followed Brood War know how big Sen was back on the days. He was probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest reference for Brood War outside Korea, non-Korean player. He was just huge. And he's still quite a solid player on StarCraft 2, but basically on this situation, well, it didn't went very well. And also, as we all know, he already tried playing on the GSL on several occasions, had some nice results. But I mean, I was expecting more of him, so
I
I'm
was as
hoping for
well.
him to show us more. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was expecting more and wasn't pleased with what I get.
Hmm.
And on this situation, I was actually hoping for him to stand a chance against Marine King Prime, but no way. Marine King crushed him, and well,
Hmm.
the result is this one, 2-0.
Yeah, unfortunate, but that's the way it goes sometimes.
Yep.
Let's move on to the round of 8, day 1. Day 1, round of 8, we have MVP facing July Zerg, and 3-1 win for MVP, convincing win. We also have San beating Demaga 3-1.
Yeah.
Sad to see Demaga go, but that's the way it goes as well.
Yeah.
Unfortunate
Well,
results here for foreigners, but Koreans proved their strength and deservedly won their matches.
Well, I think you, Iceman, I think you have the VOD there. If you run it, you're going to see that
Yes, I do.
the Maga tried some unorthodox openings and strategies to try to get over Sun, and Sun was prepared for it. He had some risky, bold maneuvers. He tried a lot of Overlord drops with a lot of roaches and zerglings. And on game 2, we attempted that. Things didn't pay off, didn't went exactly as he planned. And then on game 3, people were actually surprised because he went for the exact same thing again. But on that situation, it worked, and it was the win that he took. And we're going to see that now on the VOD. I think this is game 1 from MVP versus July. It was also fairly interesting to see this MVP versus July, but this time July just he couldn't stand the pressure. I mean, MVP was playing solid, perfectly, executing everything. As you can see, July started really good with game 1. Look at him just crushing everything with Banelings. Even a lot of infestor play starting to show up after the buff that they got now on patch 1.3. And July was just basically doing what he loves to do, which is to just send wave after wave of destruction towards his opponent. And it actually paid off on this first matchup. You can see all those banelings just steamrolling over those Marines and all mech units, and any attempt of MVP trying to defend this was just completely thwarted and failed, with the July train taking the win on this first matchup. But that was it. After this one, MVP just said, okay, I had enough of this. I'm going to crush this guy. I've been fighting with him in the past. He surprised me on the last GSL and took the victory from me, forced me to end up on Code A, so I'm going to crush him this time. And he actually did. I think maybe he just gave this game away to make July feel comfortable and then just went for the kill. And well, the end result was that MVP just took a clear win, 3-1, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It was cool to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who minds seeing MVP and July Zerg fight it off each other in a final? That's not a bad day of business by anyone's standards.
No.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah. So the fact that Koreans are better as a collective bunch, perhaps, they had home turf advantage and no jet lag. I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm happy for the event that way it went. We saw some good, strong foreign presence, and even that word foreign seems to be more and more unfounded. It was good. MVP, July Zerg facing each other, that can never be a bad thing.
No.
Yeah. For example, on this matchup that you can see now on the VOD, he tried the Baneling bust onto those 3 racks, but he didn't have the exact amount of Banelings that he required, so basically he blasted away all the Banelings. Still had 2 left that got set on the back, and he had to finish off to those barracks with Zerglings, and that just bought enough time for MVP to hold that aggression, and well, things didn't went very well for July there. Something tells me that if he had like 3 or 4 more Banelings, things might have gone a different way. But hey, it's just part of the game, and he didn't took the victory there. Here you see just MVP finishing off July Zerg and taking a big sip out of that bottle. I don't even know what that is, but seems like tea. And July Zerg was just crushed. He actually started really well with that big victory, but after that, well, bye-bye, and MVP just dominated that matchup. Now it's Sun against Demaga.
And San showcased some great blink play here. He just whittled away at Demaga and eventually chipped him down enough to get the win.
Yeah, and notice that this match was played on Scrap Station, a map that people claim that it's fairly favorable to Zerg, and well, with some reason, it's fairly easy to defend that second, the Natural Expo, and the Zerg just tend to go 14 hatch, just get it up and get 2 base running really quickly, and it's fairly safe to do so. But on this situation, as you can see, Sun just wasn't up for it and crushed the Maga, not allowing him to even stretch the game much further than like early mid game. And basically with that big Blink Stalker play, he just destroyed everything that was hatching out of those hatcheries. And the Maga had to GG, just didn't have anything to defend. Notice as well that he was going for Hydralisks really fast and didn't pay it off. Now, another clash here, already from the final bit of this series, with the Sun leading here 2-1, I think. Let me take a look at the result. Yeah, exactly. And as you can see, the Maga had a fairly big army there in the center of the screen, but wasn't enough to take the victory out of Sun's hands. And this is the example of what I was telling you that the Maga attempted on 2 different matchups, which was loading overlords with a lot of units and trying to make drops into the main base. On the previous match, from which I didn't make a VOD, it failed completely. On this one, it went well. As you can see, it just is standing right now on the left side of the main base. And he just grabbed everything on the overlords. And while all the forces from San Zenith are taking care of some rocks outside for him to grab his third, the Maga just enters with a lot of units into his base, and well, basically he didn't have much to defend, and all of a sudden you have a million Zerglings and roaches, everything poking at your buildings. And as you can see, he's even trying to pull all of his probes out of the way because he knows he doesn't have anything there to hold the aggression. But, well, it wasn't enough. And the Maga took the win here. It was the moment he did 2-1. But I don't know, I was a bit surprised to see the Maga doing this because he did the exact same thing on the previous match and it failed. But he was convinced that he knew what to do. It just failed something on the previous attempt, so he went for it again, and well, it was a bit of a surprise, but hey, he surprised me, and apparently it surprised Sun as well because he wasn't expecting it. And he took the win, as you can see,
in a beautiful fashion.
Yeah, and this, I think it's the final match. Yeah, this is the final battle. As you can see, there's a lot of Hydralisks on the back behind those force fields doing nothing, and he's just forced to pull back, but meanwhile lost a lot of units. And Sun Zenith just played this brilliantly, had a nice line, a long concave there, blasting away with a couple of Immortals there in the fray, just targeting the roaches, putting all those roaches down, and the rest, the stalkers, did what they had to do to the Hydralisks. Also with the micro, keeping them all alive and sustaining that DPS. So worked brilliantly, and as you can see, got to the point where the Maga didn't have anything to defend, and Sun still had a huge army, which basically is a sign that Sun was just microing brilliantly and making all of these stalkers go back to survive and keep DPSing.
Yeah,
the Maga
again, he was
very
showcasing.
happy.
Again, he was showcasing the power of the blink. If used properly, you can just deteriorate the Zerg's forces quite handily.
Yeah,
it's turning into the new Mutalisk micro, being able to use blink efficiently. It's the mark of skill beyond any other particular aspect of micro.
All right, let's go for day 2 here of the round of 8. On day 2, we saw Marine King Prime 3-1 over Fnatic TT1. Unfortunately, the last foreigner left got knocked out, and it was also a convincing win for Marine King. Game 2, we saw OGSMC just stomping any Pro Prime 3-0. Didn't see any other way this was going to happen other than OGSMC taking the decided win here, but nonetheless, OGSMC, I mean, he's looking ferocious still. What are you guys' thoughts on this day as I get the VOD rolling?
Sebastian, go for it.
Hardly too surprising. I mean, obviously I was cheering for TT1. He's an old Brood War legend, and he comes from Canada, which is not Korea, which makes him the underdog still, and hence we were cheering for him. Seeing him stomped by Marine King did not surprise me. It was an enjoyable fight. He was a victim to the slaughter, a free one, a convincing free one. Perhaps that wasn't necessarily given, but I mean, the result was pretty obvious from the get-go. Marine King is a beast, and TT1 is not up there yet. But meaning that he came to the round of 8, it says a lot. I mean, he hasn't made any international performances yet that I can think of, at least not any big ones. And now he faced off Marine King in a round of 8 in a GSL. I mean, kudos to him. If he was a victim to the slaughter, he put up a good fight getting there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
I
mean, he was
think.
able to take one game, so
Yeah, I
still,
mean, that's not bad.
yeah, and he showed his
Yeah.
strength quite well in the team events. So he's no slouch of a player. He's a very strong
Absolutely
player.
not.
So take nothing away from him.
Yeah, yeah.
Nothing is taken.
Yes, indeed.
I was a bit surprised early on when I saw TT1 taking those 2 wins on the team event. But I mean, he's a solid player. I'm just not very used to see him playing on these big stages. But I guess I need
Exactly.
to see. I guess I need to see him playing more because he has what it takes. The last time I think I recall him having some good results was on some MLG event last year, which he ended up. I think it was second. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he ended up second on an MLG and did pretty well there. So seeing him doing well here as well on the GSL was just awesome, impressive. And once again, another sign that the Koreans need to be keeping a lookout for all the foreigners because they're up to the battle, and apparently they're fittest than ever and stronger than ever, and very well prepared, especially compared with the gap that we had in Brood War. That gap is not the same here on StarCraft 2, and that's good in my opinion.
Very.
You want to continue to lead us through the VODs?
Yeah, well, there's not much to say here. As you can see, you can follow it here. You see TT1 going here for the kill. He was actually able to break the wall off. This match was a bit curious, interesting, because he tried to make a forward gate, apply the pressure on the entrance, and Marine King was just standing there trying to repair the bunker and keep everything alive on that wall to make sure that no unit would be able to enter. But basically TT1 brute forced them out of this match. He just said, I'm not going to leave. I'm going to pump out more units, more and more, until I break this wall off. And he actually did. I was surprised, but he paid off. And this was the win that he was able to take from Marine King Prime. On all the other matchups, he got crushed, but still a nice win there. As you can see, you're going to have a massive battle here. Look at the amount of units that Marine King has there. He has a lot of Marines backed up by siege tanks, and basically just crushes the defense from TT1. Those Immortals trying to dish out as much damage as possible, but it wasn't enough. It's just Marine King kept flowing more and more units out, dishing out more units, and gets to the point where TT1 doesn't have anything else. Look at the amount that he's sending just now. You see, he just crushed an army, and TT1 was actually convinced that he was able to have a little bit of breathing space, and all of the sudden you have another pile of Marines backed up by siege tanks blasting away once more, and with the Marine King Prime just kept macroing and replenishing the front line of his army. He got to the point where TT1 just said, okay, it's enough. I can't handle this anymore. And as you can see here, it's a big battle over the rich mineral field that TT1 is going to lose. From this moment on, he knew that the game was lost. He was losing the rich mineral field while his opponent was just stabilizing, playing out of his 2 bases just fine, probably planning ahead to prepare the 3rd base. And well, he got to the point where TT1 just said, yeah, I know what's coming for me. I'm going to just move on and GG out of this match. And that's exactly what he did.
Good series. TT1 put up a good fight, but still,
Yeah, he did.
Marine King showing why he's still a dominant force to be reckoned with, and still using his Marines there. Love of Marines. Stim.
Yeah, and it's interesting if you guys take a look at the VOD again this little bit. You see like massive forces coming out of those racks. Like Marine King was pumping out so many units that it was just unbearable for TT1.
Yeah.
Sebastian.
Yeah, that is what brings me to mind the old Brood War Master I Love Uve, which of the 10 people watching this stream right now, perhaps 2 or 3 will remember, because he is well old school by this stage. But he was called a cheater Terran for a reason. He could make more units than what was considered possible or even legal. And Marine King Prime does the same thing. Macro, sure, many people knows how to do it. I mean, it is a skill like none other, but Marine King Prime, he does that and more. It's like he knows how to macro, and then he studied magic and did it some more. He is
Yeah.
just unhuman, ubermensch with his capacity to pump out at least tier 1 units.
Yeah.
It's just I mean, he's not the best player out there. He's perhaps top 5 in Korea. I mean, he hasn't won GSL. He has nearly done it, etc. But the way he macros, it is
Yeah.
like none other, and including Nada. It's just a joy watching him own.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And now we have here the other game. Iceman. This one is Any Pro Prime against Young Min Chul against OGSMC. And, well, it wasn't much of a contest, to be honest. Min Chul, like they call him in Korea, but OGSMC just crushed all over Any Pro. I mean, Any Pro didn't stand a chance on any of the matches. I don't know, just the micro from MC was just brilliant, impressive to watch. He was just on the ball every time. Look at him here, just splitting the forces from Any Pro, like cutting his army in half, and now he's going to deal with the second half, and Any Pro knows that from this point on, he doesn't have enough. It's useless to stay in the game because I don't have enough to defeat MC. The moment he used those force fields, he just crushed Any Pro. And basically, there wasn't much of a contest. I mean, 3-0, clear, and it even makes me think that would be nice for Any Pro to have lost the previous matchup, so we could have Demaga versus MC, like it wouldn't be a PvP, it would be a PvZ, and it would be interesting to see the Ukrainian Zerg Master facing against OGSMC. I would like to see that. Maybe one day in the future, I guess.
Yeah, you never know.
We will.
And here
I'm
we
sure.
have the players all coming up to the stage area.
Notice
showing their
Jinro in
support.
black.
Yep.
Looking suave.
By the way, although you see those glasses that player from OGS has, those orange glasses. I'm not sure if you guys follow this live, but it was being aired on a 3D screen. So those glasses were for 3D, so you could watch it on 3D on TV. I would like to take a look at that on 3D. Must be interesting to see the units popping out of the screen.
Yeah, or at least the
Well,
HUD
I'm not
information would be
sure.
pretty cool. I'm not sure how much the units actually themselves I'd want to see. I wouldn't mind some of the HUD, maybe unit counts or resources would be kind of interesting, but I'm not so sure how. After an extended period of time, it might get strained, pretty annoying on the eyes.
Probably, but yeah.
Still, nice.
Yep. We can look forward to the finals, or the semifinals, excuse me. We can make some predictions here. The semifinals will be held tomorrow, April the 5th. And we're going to see MVP face off against San, and then MC facing Any Pro Prime. What are you guys' thoughts? Any predictions on these matches?
My thought is that there are no Zergs in these matches.
True.
Other than that, MVP must take down San, because whereas PvP is not as tedious as it was perhaps was last autumn, I do not want to see a mirror match in the finals. But having said that, if I interpret this correctly, if I want MVP to face OGS MC, yeah, I mean, that they are favored, aren't they? I would say against them.
Yeah,
but then
so.
again,
Yeah, I would say
San and Any Pro, seeing both pros advance, not necessarily so. I must say MC is the powerhouse more than MVP, but of course, by the hair of an unmentionable word, which I can't say on the stream, it's not so much of a difference. So. Fuck it. I'll say MVP and MC will face each other in the final.
Yeah, I would like to see that as well. Basically, because you guys recall what happened last time they met up on the finals of the GSL.
That was nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I want to see that again, basically. I just want to see them clashing on these finals. It's going to be awesome. I mean, MC, it's probably the biggest reference. Protoss-wise, he's probably the #1 player in the whole world. And from all the races and worldwide, he's probably, if he's not #1, he's on top 3. Depends on anyone's preferences, obviously. But
Or
seeing
unless
him
he
play,
plays in the TSL.
yeah, but watching him play against MVP on the finals is going to be awesome. I just want to check that. And much respect for Sun, who was previously Sun Zenith, and Any Pro. But I think they already did pretty well. And I think it's time for us to have another epic matchup, MVP versus MC. That's what I'm betting on.
Yeah, I would say it's quite a safe bet, especially with the way MC's playing. I mean, right now he's unstoppable. He's just ferocious beast, tearing up all his opponents. Any pro, good player nonetheless, but still, unless there's some freak of nature accident or some crazy strat that he uses, I really don't see MC going down. And same for MVP, he should advance as well. So probably going to look forward to another epic final.
Yeah. Let's move on.
All right. Do you guys want to talk about the MLG Dallas, what took place?
You want to leave it for last or now? For me, it's fine.
Let's just go for it right now.
All right.
Okay. You guys start, go.
All right, as you guys know, MLG Pro Circuit has started off. This past weekend, over the past 3 days, it was the first event of the Pro Circuit, and it was featured in Dallas. And as maybe quite a few of you might already know, there was quite a bit of a headache with this event in terms of StarCraft 2 coverage. First of all, the StarCraft 2 support was insane. Sundance, who's in charge of most of the events, he even admitted that the viewership was doubled, I believe, their expectations and their estimations. Yep. So for the first couple of days, the stream was down. I mean, it was crashing all the time. There were just way too many people tuning in, more than they had expected, more than they made technical decisions for. But I mean, that was only the beginning of the problems. If you guys checked into it, there was plenty of issues on the stage where the players were waiting around. I mean, they had what were we talking earlier, Hydra? It was like 40 minutes in between events at times, between matches.
And, it was complicated.
People were just showing commercials. DJ Wheat and Day 9 did their best to be up front and talk, but as anybody might know, that's a difficult task to keep people entertained who are here to see matches for a long period of time by just casting talking. There was issues with lag and getting people to connect. I mean, it was just a complete mess for a while. And it's sad to see that the first event turned out this way, since StarCraft 2 is so big and so many people had wanted to see this. It's just frustrating and bad for the entire scene. Any thoughts? I'll let you take it first, Sebastian.
Well, I was unable to watch the entirety of the stream, partly because there were many other things going on, mainly because it kept dying on me and I lost patience. And then the stream was quite low resolution, and I was just getting cut off all the time. So I was only managed to catch game one of the finals and a couple here and there. I mean, I read up on it, and I look forward to seeing some more casts. I know I watched one of yours today, Hydra. It was it Pain User and TLO?
Yeah, either way, TLO, game one. I'm going to upload game two today.
Please do, and I'm sure all our favorite casters across YouTube will take care of this for us. It's just, I mean, we will talk about the games, yes, but we must reiterate how sad it is that MLG has taken upon its shoulders. I mean, it's a company that runs for profit, so it has taken upon its shoulders to invest their time and money into providing qualitative esports entertainment. And I know it was so hyped before. StarCraft 2 was supposed to be on the main stage, unlike Halo or whatever else they're concerned with. They had finally got it, it seemed like. And then now they clearly did not have the infrastructure or the organization for it. They were just so sponsor whoring, showing the commercials all the time, and clearly they did not grasp the concept. I mean, I know all these tournaments have their issues, the vehicle of technology and esports, yada yada, but this is just beyond reconciliation. I think MLG sucks. And I don't think it's deliberate that they skimp on this or that. They they don't know what it takes. They don't have what it takes, and the few people who do are not in charge. I mean, it is a sad state of affairs when you have this potential money maker, cash cow that is StarCraft 2 and all the people wanting to watch it, and you F-word it up.
Yeah.
I'll pass it on to any one of you now.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to say something real quick. I mean, I believe they have about 52 million in spending funds for their yearly event. I mean, especially with all the sponsorship and the high profile sponsors that they have here, I was seriously depressed and upset and frustrated with just the quality of the production value. I mean, you see much smaller events, for instance, Dreamhack, with much less money, go a lot further than what we saw here, which is
yeah.
the wrong people are either in charge or they really severely underestimated the StarCraft 2 turnout, which
Yeah, I
is
think
a
so.
big shame. And we're just going to have to rely on VODs and perhaps some re-shoutcasts from people on YouTube. But, I mean, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not what we want, is it?
No, exactly.
No, no, no.
That's not what this is about.
I follow this or try to follow this closely. For the first 2 days, I wasn't able to watch any stream. I'm sorry. I think I got a glimpse of something that I might consider a stream for like 5 minutes on the second day, but that was it.
No, you're
And
right. I tried as well, but it was
yeah,
it was a
I
complete
mean,
mess.
It's
I'm on the
unbearable.
I'm on the European side, and my internet here is not a big thing. It's quite crappy, to be honest, but usually it allows me to watch the streams, and it wasn't working. And then we had very long periods of time where they were trying to fix things, and you could see well, not thousands, but hundreds of pages showing up on TL with people saying, "I can't watch anything. What's this? Is this a joke? Is MLG just messing up with us?" But then actually we had some people from the organization, some MLG representatives actually showing up and making a couple of posts on TL saying that they're terribly sorry, but they're completely shocked with the amount of people that showed up to watch the StarCraft 2 stream. And there was a comment saying something like, it's kind of the numbers, it's close to double what we expected on our wildest dreams for StarCraft 2. And as you might imagine, the answers to that was some trolls showing up and saying, dude, this is not Halo. We're not 12 years old. Just you need to keep up the pace because you're going to have competition pretty soon. Probably meaning NASL.
Yeah.
So basically people were annoyed because at least I can speak for myself, but I'm pretty sure I'm speaking for several thousand people. We lost most of the matches from the early stages of the MLG. Now, me as a caster, and obviously all the other casters, will try to cover up and try to cast as many matches as possible from the replays. But let me say that at this day, the replays, they're still missing a lot of replays. There's a lot of matchups that are not complete. And then you have other issues because the live stream and not being able to watch it was one side of the question. The other side was that the players and the viewers that were actually on the venue, they're sitting there to watch and they paid the ticket and all of that. Those guys weren't able to watch anything because there was a lot of lag, a lot of games getting lagged out, players getting lagged out of the games and just crashing. There's quite an interesting matchup between Huck and Idra where they just start BMing and Idra was a bit aggressive towards Huck and all of that, but that game had a lot of crashes as well. The third match, I think it didn't even got finished properly. Then they had, on the following day, they had the best out of 7 again. Huck versus Hydro once more. I think that was on the third day, and I was actually able to sit down and watch that, but still had crashes and lag and players losing the connection. And I'm sure that all of that was related as well with the connection and the internet system, whatever, the way they had to plug all those PCs and the network that they established there that allowed them for people to play and sit down and play on the PCs. And there was a lot of little tiny details that actually failed. just an example, and this is available for anyone to watch on a YouTube video. There's an interview with a guy that is one of the editors on Team Liquid. He was kind enough to interview several of the players, and one of them was Idra. And one of his questions was, okay, Idra, you just played with Sokka, you took the win. How was that one? Was it hard? And Idra was very blunt and straightforward, but I think he did right. He just said, no, it was really easy because I could hear the Void Rays coming. I could hear Sok making Void Rays. I mean, he was just saying that there's not even a proper way of muffling the sound, so the players are not listening to what's happening on their side. And basically he said, no, I had an easy win because I heard the Void Rays coming, gathered the proper counters, a lot of Hydras, and when the Void Rays came, I just crushed it. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And I mean...
That's unfortunate, man. That shouldn't happen in an event of this magnitude. Something like that should not take place.
But notice this was just one of the examples. I read some comments from people that were actually sitting on the venue and watching that the organization at one moment decided, okay, the casters are too loud. We're afraid that the players might be listening to what the casters are saying. So we're going to lower the volume of the casters. So they couldn't hear the casters, people actually sitting there watching the matches. And they had the in-game sound really loud and they couldn't hear the casters. I mean, things need to be properly balanced. Probably the organization, the disposition of the players and the casters and the crowd viewing the matches wasn't the best. But this is the kind of things that at this level, at MLG level, you need to be aware of and you need to take care of. I know that I enjoy MLG. I recall MLG last year in Dallas, people sitting on the floor but having fun. It was awesome to watch.
Yeah.
And this time, I mean, things just didn't work. I also recall one of the comments that people were making as, why don't you get some sound booth? And one of the answers was, the sound booth don't fit on our trucks. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, Dreamhack is able to have sound booths. Come on.
Yeah. Now, another thing, last detail, which I find important for me personally, because I'm on the other side of the Atlantic and the only way I have to actually watch this is through the streams. When we actually had streams on the third day, we had DJ Wheat and Day9 trying the best they could to fill air, just to try to keep giving us more and more banter, because they were doing something like this. I don't know, half-an-hour games and then 40-minute breaks, while other matches were going on. Like, close to the quarterfinals, you had TLO and Naniwa and Kiwikaki all playing, and Day9 and DJ Wheat were able to follow one match, and then the match was over, and that's it. And the only thing we were able to get, the only information we were able to get from the other matches was some text that they kept writing on a chat box. I mean, let me try to understand this. Calder, the German caster, can have 2 PCs and get invites for several matches on different PCs and can jump from one PC to the other and watch several streams, and there's basically no downtime or like 5 minutes downtime, and he's always on a game. And MLG can't do that. I mean, Kaldor is basically a one-man band, he's trying to make a one-man show, but things work and he's very professional. Obviously, he has that studio backing him up, but still, it's not something you can size up to what MLG is. And I mean, MLG needs to have a solution for this. Like, don't give us 40 minutes breaks between games while there's like 3, 4, 10 other games going on. Just feed us games. We're here to watch the games. I do enjoy listening to Day9 and DJ Wheat. They have some nice jokes. They have a nice chemistry between them, and it's fun. But 40 minutes of it at a time, no, just a little bit less, please. So these are points that I would like to see fixed in the future. Let me mention this once more. I remember MLG from the past. I like MLG, but they need to just shape up and get their game going, or else they're going to start having competition. And for now, from the top of my head, NASL. But there's plenty of events going on. Dreamhack doesn't have the size of MLG. They allowed a lot of streamers to go there. I know that MLG doesn't want that. They want to keep everything contained and controlled inside
they want in-house
MLG.
Broadcasting.
Yeah, but for example,
is
Dreamhack.
So the wrong move.
On Dreamhack, you guys know what we all did. Like, okay, there's like 5 streamers. Let's take a look. I like this game. I'm going to watch it. Then,
Yeah.
okay, this guy doesn't have a game. Let's watch the other stream. And everyone was watching a ton of games. And then you had Intel Extreme Masters World Championships that weren't that long ago. That one, I would say that you can size it with MLG, okay? With some differences, but basically they play on the same league. And Intel Extreme Masters worked just fine. I didn't have any problem with it. I just enjoyed it. And like I mentioned, I mean, MLG before, when people were sitting on the floor, it worked better than now with chairs. So get that thing sorted, or else NASL probably will crush you unless you get an alliance with them. We might see that one day.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely. I don't think the in-house casting is the way to go for this. They need to expand, and I believe Sebastian agrees as well on that, as he was alluding to.
Yeah,
But
Yeah, exclusivity is not the way to go these days. You want to proliferate your content all over the place. Make sure your logo is in the corner. Make sure people associate your brand with awesomeness.
mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Being a bitch in any other fashion will get you killed by the NASL.
Yeah, there might be some legal issues with proprietary rights and whatnot there, but I'm not exactly sure how that all works out. But it would be nice to see a little bit better, as you were saying, with the something a little more along the lines of Caldor's setup. But let's wrap
Yep.
up MLG real quick and let's go over the results.
Okay. Let me just make one more comment, and you can show the results while I make the comment, obviously. I'm not sure if you guys followed the Huck versus Idra matches. There's a lot of BM related with it, basically coming out of Idra. But let me make this comment. Idra this time had the BM, but he backed it up with results, which is something.
Hmm.
Okay, even if you
Yeah,
don't like the
that's a
guy took
lot.
some wins. Yeah, I'd rather have him BMing and taking the wins because he was solid and played consistently than BMing people and just doing crap. So at this occasion, he actually did fairly well. Two moments that you had that are important, and I'm pretty sure they're going to show up somewhere, probably on YouTube. One, on third game against Huck, Huck was just trying to discuss with him on the early stages of the game, saying that on the previous match, game two, we had a lot of hallucinated units, and that's why Idra lost because he was focusing those hallucinated units. And Idra just told him, fuck off, which is fairly nice to watch on a big events as MLG. And then the best one, the most awesome one, was in the end, after he had the best out of 7 with Huck, he took the win convincingly, 4-2 if I'm not mistaken, and he got interviewed. And one of the comments that Idris said about Huck is that Huck knows that in a straight game he can't beat me. So
Oh,
basically, it was, yeah, kind of a bit strong, but uh, notice this. If he had lost and made any kind of comment similar to that one,
yeah,
it would be bad. But
that
I
would be
mean, it
bad
took
news,
the,
especially with what happened
yeah,
with
but
the TSL events recently.
yeah, but he took the victory convincingly against Huck, and on that moment he just took the chance to show himself once again as, well, I'm going to call him a villain. You guys call whatever you want, but I think that every big event, every big sport needs some villains, and Idra is just one of the biggest villains we have at the moment, and he just placed himself on that stand and said that Huck didn't have what it takes to face him on a straight game. Basically, translating to English, Huck can only beat me if he starts cheesing like a madman. So yeah, it was interesting to listen to that.
Yep. Anyways, we'll just go over the final match. Dignitas Naniwa took the win 4-2 over Ruth Kiwikaki in an extended series. Kiwikaki was coming out of the losers bracket. He had lost to Naniwa previously, so he was already down 2 games. He was able to fight back. It was 3-2 at one point, but Naniwa closed it out. 4-2 victory, and he was awarded $5,000. So, I mean, we're starting to see Naniwa grow, it looks like. This is he was showing his prowess in the TSL3, and again here, he rolled through the open brackets. I believe his final record was 26-2, and
Yeah, that's correct.
the only 2 losses he sustained was in the final match against Kiwikaki. So that is a lot of wins and a lot of people to blast through in that amount of time. So a strong player. I mean, people have mentioned his attitude, maybe his anger problems. I don't know if it's really anger problems, but his BM in the past. Uh, I don't care, man. The guy, if you can pull off a feat like this, it's well deserved,
Yeah, yeah.
and definitely I would probably give it to him that maybe his attitude had something to do with it. You know, I'm here, I'm gonna win, I'm gonna beat these guys, and you have to have some attitude to back you up to make it through something like that with such a clean record in that
Yeah.
manner.
It seems like we have a new villain in town, doesn't it?
I'll cheer
Well,
for him.
as you guys know from the past, Naniwa already had some BM issues in the past. Now he seems a lot more calmer since he went for Team Dignitas, and he had just a brilliant performance here at the MLG. I mean, he had to fight a lot of opponents. He ended up 26-2, 26 wins, 2 defeats, and he had to go all the way through the open brackets, which means that he had to face a lot of players that other big reference players didn't face. They didn't have to worry about any of that. And Naniwa just battled through all of that. As you might imagine, 26 to 28 games, it's a lot of time, several hours there, that he needs to focus and concentrate to take the victories and keep getting qualified. And taking the win in the final victory, I mean, just impressive, but well-deserved. I think he's just showing us all that behind all that BM that he had in the past and he had a reputation for, there's a huge Protoss player and probably is just starting to show his real quality, his real skills now. And, well, that's awesome. I actually like the guy.
Any thoughts, Sebastian?
Well, I mean, now I finished typing so I can concentrate. I managed to almost watch the final before the stream broke down on me and I quit out of nerd rage, but I did read up on it. And Kivikaki, an old Warcraft 3 player, against a Swedish Protoss, who I believe was Warcraft 3 as well, but I'm not entirely sure. Probably not.
Yeah,
Whatever.
he was.
Oh yeah. Then I did remember correctly. Well, that says it much. Canada versus Sweden, Protoss versus Protoss, Warcraft 3 Legacy, facing it up in what is still a very global event. It may not have much or any. Well, yeah, Select was there, and it had some Korean influence, but it was merely a North American European event, and they stormed through it. I mean, particularly Naniva going 26-2. I mean, that you can't be lucky with those results. You must be infinitely skilled. And I mean,
he did well.
It's clear that he's got ADHD or something as unpleasant. But if that makes him kick ass and do it with attitude, then I'm cheering for the guy. I probably won't be interviewing him, but hey, I've much.
Come on, man, give the bad boys some love.
I've just had some feedback on his interviewing skills, but maybe that could be a fun feature in itself. Who knows? I would love to do it seriously, and I'm so happy to see Sweden represent and for it to be such a unclassy guy as Naniva in the best sense of the word.
Alrighty, since we talked a little bit last week about Dreamhack, dropped some hints, talked a little bit about who that 8th invite spot might be. We have official word now that the 8th invitee will be none other than Slayer's Boxer.
Yay.
Yeah, and if you guys didn't guess that already, shame on you.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
Sebastian, I know that you have a little bit of influence and you're working with the people who are closely related to the Dreamhack happenings. Why don't you lead us through a little bit about what's going on there? I know you have some stuff you'd want to talk about, right?
Well, thank you, Iceman. And before I get into that, I want to tell everyone watching to check out this awesome montage that Iceman has put together with pictures and quotes from Slayer's Boxer, who is, of course, the Terran Emperor, the father of StarCraft Pro gaming, and the most epic person alive, basically, when it comes to anything that rhymes with battlecruiser.
Real quick, Sebastian, I got these quotes and images from Gosu Gamers, so I need to credit them. I did just moving around pictures and images, so not too much work on my side, but thanks to Gosu Gamers for these clips and information. But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice of them to do the work for sure. And of course, Gosu Gamers are largely a Swedish organization. At least they were incepted there, and they will be very much at place at this Dreamhack Invitational event. And I don't have a list of players in front of me who will be going there, but it will be a truly global invitational event hosted by Dreamhack, who's expanding its horizons. And I mean, I think we'll all be going into the details together, but what I can add to the table that is pretty exclusive is the fact that Just when we started this cast, actually, I was chatting with TLO himself, who was then just about to board a plane. I asked if he wanted to come on the show, but he said he'll check us out later, and I take that as a promise. Yeah.
Looking forward to that, definitely.
He had to catch a plane from Dallas back to Germany. And TLO will, of course, be attending this event as well as White Raw and many other names. And this is, I mean, the fact that Boxer and the others are coming to play, that is awesome. That is not all that is awesome. The thing that I've been alluding to for months now will be revealed in conjunction with this event, or at the very least directly after. This thing that TLO is involved with, that will be a new milestone in pro gaming history worldwide, etc. That will soon be known to all of us after April 12th. So this is the top of the iceberg, I can say. I'm not allowed to say more than that, but truly, we will now see esports becoming global. Again, I sound like a broken record, but here we see the testament. People living in Sweden can go and meet the emperor together with all the other fans. That is unfathomable to me, who watched these guys VODs for years on end, and now he's arriving in Stockholm, and for good reason too. StarCraft 2, we've seen nothing yet.
Sebastian, I'm kind of going to put you on the spot here. Are you going to be going to this DreamHack event?
I have some things that are holding me back. I look to resolve them. So definitely maybe.
All right. Well, if you do go, make sure you take a video camera, and see if you can get some interviews or some footage here. Select for GG Rated.
You can count on that, Iceman.
Awesome.
Sebastian, keep this in mind. Chloroform works every time, okay? Go ahead.
But really, Hydra, don't you think the Emperor would have developed an immunity to that by now?
Might be, yeah. You might be right.
That was good.
Go on.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sebastian.
That's all the concrete information, which actually wasn't anything, apart from the fact that TLO has just boarded his flight from Dallas and will be checking in on us in the future. But many things will come out of the DreamHack Invitational. And what we know already is just the beginning.
So, cool. If I could just wrap that up, what you're trying to tell us is you're a stalker of TLO, and you're the new in control with these weekly promises of something big to happen.
I love it when you put it that way. Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to, I believe, our last topic of the day. Yeah. We mentioned a little bit about the NASL possibly going to be rivaling MLG. Seeing as how MLG had a bit of a failure on the first weekend, but we're going to have to give them the benefit of the doubt, see what's going to happen later on. But NASL looking strong, and they've just released their division players, and we're going to go over that and look through that real quick here.
Yep.
We got Division 1. Do you guys want me to just read through these real quickly?
Sure.
I don't know if there's too many to read, but I'll just go through this really fast.
Go.
All right. Division 1, we got Moon, Phoenix, Kiwikaki, TLO, Sheth, Artosis, Vibe, Grubby, Rainbow, and Morrow. Division 2, we see QXC, Dark Force, Cruncher, Show, TT1, Rightwa, White Raw, Momen, In Control, Ensnare, and July. Division 3, we're going to see Kawaii Rice, Hey Pro, Naniwa, Slush, Axlav, Straylock, Moonglade, DDE, Squirtle, and Nada.
Yay.
In Division 4, we will have the feature of Select, CT, in caps, Hasuabs, Cats, Machine, Ace, Bratok, Starlife, Goody, Rhett, and MC. And in Division 5, we're going to be faced with Idra, Sake, Cloud, Sen, Tyler, Mana, Druby, Pain User, Zenio, and Boxer. And my goodness, I can't believe I just made it through that. Can I get a round of applause, please?
Yes.
Now, I'm going to throw a bit of poison on both of you for you guys to discuss this while I just sit down and listen to your opinions. As you guys know, If you don't know, I'm going to update both of you. There's a couple of issues related with these lists. First of all, let me mention that I love the lists. Huge players, awesome. But there's some players that got stuck outside for different reasons. One of the reasons was too late. They sent their video. You required to do a video presentation, like a video apply to the NASL. Some of them sent it too late, so no spot for them. One of them, Demaga. Okay, now another side. Some players are not allowed because the organization from NASL want to make sure that all the players will be available to play this and to come to Los Angeles to play the offline, when they're going to be, I think it's from the round of 16 onwards to the finals. They want to make sure that every player will be able to attend. So players from countries that don't have a visa agreement with the United States and are considered coming from countries with risk, they weren't included as well. One of the examples, if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't Dark Force. It was a Zergen. Now I don't remember his name. It's a guy from Romania. He's very well known. It's just me getting senile, okay? Much respect for that guy. I can even go and search his name. So basically you have some players that maybe were able to take a spot out of one of these guys here on the list, but they're not here because of diplomatic issues or bureaucratic issues. I would like to see Demaga there, and he applied. Can I trade, for example, Demaga with Vibe on Division 1? I would. About the guys with the visas, I mean, it's understandable. I think I respect that more than the fact that someone took one or a couple more days to send the video. But I understand that this is a fairly big organization. Things need to be done with proper time, and maybe players shouldn't stretch it that far. I'm just a bit sad I don't see Demaga there. But yeah, these divisions have some monstrous players, huge players. And in my modest opinion, the one that I want to watch the most is Division 5. Basically because there's a lot of Brood War veterans there, and I want to see them clashing on StarCraft 2. Go ahead.
I just want to say one thing about the deadline issue. I mean, even if they're big superstar players, the deadline is the deadline, and if they didn't meet the deadline, you can't hold up the process because somebody didn't put in something by the deadline. I mean, if you're running a professional organization or any professional entity that, for that matter, if you don't meet something by the clear deadline that was obviously posted,
I agree.
I mean, that's just something that you can't make excuses for. That he's a big name player, we'll try to get him in. I mean, you have to abide by the rules, and that's the professional way to run things. I don't know all the results on why certain players did not make it. I know there is a thread on Team Liquid. If you search for the NASL players list, the final, they have an important message there. There's a link to a thread to educate yourself on who made it, the application videos, and why people were rejected or not. I didn't go through all of it yet, but I know the information is out there. So I'm pretty sure there's probably clear reasoning behind some of the things, even though, as you said, Hydra, I'm sad that Demaga didn't make it. Also a notable other player that didn't make it, Sella. I love seeing Sella play. The guy's hilarious, but I mean, there's reasoning behind this, and I'm sure that some players will get, if there's success with this season, we're going to see other players filter in later. Sebastian, why don't you give us some of your input as well?
Yes, I mean, it in all competitions like this on an international scale, there are going to be political, if not diplomatic, and certainly practical issues. NASL, unlike the TSL and unlike the GSL, who requires people, of course, to be there physically before you can even start competing, and the TSL is strictly online for now. That is the case. Whereas the NASL, they have an online qualifier, and they want to make sure that they can bring a kick-ass offline event like GSL final, that kind of level. So they need to make sure people can get there because they're trying to stand by a product that for viewing fans will be as epic as possible. And people have to adhere to certain rules. Now, we may disagree with the countries at risk or whatever might be the issue for getting traveling visa into the United States, but those things are outside of the control of the North American Star League. If the USA do not allow certain Romanian players to enter, then that's just too bad. But it's not their fault. We have to abide by it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm just being a bit of a fanboy, I guess, and was just whining about it. But yeah, it's understandable.
It's all good. It's all good. Makes for some good conversation here. But yeah, I think we got some huge names. Everybody here is a huge name. It's just like a superstar collection. And I think the reason that this NASL is going to have success is because the proper people are behind this organization.
True.
And specifically, I'm speaking about In Control. The guy is, one, a great player, two, dedicated fan of StarCraft. I mean, he is here for the people. He's always doing stuff for the people. He's on Twitter. He's doing live streams. He's doing podcasts. He's signing things at events. You know, this guy is completely ingrained with the community, and he's a business-minded person on top of that. He's an aggressive person. He wants to do well. He wants to win. And with somebody like that heading things, if you give him money and you get the proper people behind him, I think this is going to be a very successful league that we're going to see. And especially seeing all these players turn out, this is already amazing. I mean, we're even seeing huge names from Korea and lots of Brood War legends. So I expect nothing less than pure epicness from this.
No, exactly. This is the MLG event that we all been hoping for. It has the scale, it has the money, but now it has the organization and the people. This is grown out of the community by cold-hearted business people, sure enough. But In Control, he may be that, but he's so much more than that. He is a player, as Hydra just pointed out. He got fourth at MLG Dallas, and he can kick ass as a Protoss, and he can get things done as a business person. Put those things together. Sure, he'll be a millionaire in a couple of years, but he will have brought us so much epic pro gaming, and who can argue with that? I'm so happy to see In Control finally being able to unleash his potential, and we shouldn't forget evil geniuses that stand behind him. They truly deserve our ticket, us paying the ticket, and us giving them the appreciation they deserve.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I would just wanted to say I was looking over the different players in the divisions. Division 5, like you guys were saying, is going to be pretty sick, but I think Division 1 might be one of my favorites to see. TLO and Grubby in the same division. Could see some epic things there. Also, Kiwi Kaki and Phoenix, great players, but yeah, that's just my thoughts.
Yeah, I like Division 5. Idra, Sen, Tyler, Zenio, Boxer, I mean, and all the others, obviously. I'm just skipping some, but they're all awesome. And there's so many Brood War veterans there. I want to see them facing against each other. It's going to be just tremendous. But, I mean, you have other huge groups there, so I'm just assuming that this is going to be pretty epic. As long as things are well organized and we're not going to have problems with streams and stuff like that, it's going to be just awesome. By the way, I checked on the interview that Idra did on the MLG. He made a comment about the NASL, and he made a simple comment stating that people shouldn't be worrying about any problem with VODs or things being out of sync, you know, like it happened on that matchup they did. Yeah, they said not to worry about that because every VOD that is going to be recorded will be recorded live. What he means by this is there won't be any post-production, like the sound is going to be synchronized instantly and naturally by the fact that it's going to be recorded live with the casters just sitting there and watching the game. And he was saying that people shouldn't be worrying or comparing anything to that presentation game that they did before, because it's going to be way, way superior. Obviously, I'm not going to take Hydra as a liar. I'm just going to wait to see, but it's good news, obviously.
Definitely.
Yeah, and very understandable.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Sebastian.
No, I was just wanting to add that I think we were all quite certain that the presentation game we saw is not representative of the final product. I just wanted to put something out there.
Yeah. So tune in. It's going to be huge. And I believe In Control will actually be coming on the show or giving us at least some sort of interview sometime in the future. I've been in contact with him, and he's extremely busy, but hopefully we'll get a slot of his time, and he'll be able to come on here and give us a bit more info on NASL and hopefully discuss some other things
Yeah, you
about
can
Totally.
plug
StarCraft
in
2 with us.
you can plug in ASL all you want. I don't have any problem with that.
Yeah, me either. But yeah, that about wraps it up for today's show. Thanks everybody who did turn in. This was a fun show. Every week I think it's getting more and more fun, better and better. So thanks everybody who continues to show up and checks out the podcast. Thanks to Hydra and Sebastian also. You guys, thanks for showing up each week and chatting about StarCraft with me. It's good fun.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. It's awesome.
Any
It's my
shout outs, you
esports
guys?
highlight of the week.
Definitely, yeah. I look forward to it each Monday. Makes my Monday brighter. But any shout outs you guys have as we wrap this up?
Go
Hydra?
ahead, Sebastian. Go,
All
go,
right.
go.
Well, I just wanted to give my own some shameless shout outs in saying that my channel may seem dead, barren, and empty, but actually it's stewing with preparations of things yet to come. Perhaps by the end of April or early May, you shall see some awesome kick-ass content, as in commentary, coming out of there. And I can't wait to show you guys.
Yes, it's gonna be pretty sweet. Hydra, anything from you?
I'm good. Everything good. I'm going to be covering on the following days several matchups from MLG Dallas. Basically, I'm going to help the MLG organization and at the same time help myself because I want to follow the games, especially the ones from the earlier stages, which happened during day 1 and day 2, and I wasn't able to sit down and watch them.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna cast some of them, and obviously all the other casters will pick some, and we're going to end up covering most of the matchups that are available. Though, like I already mentioned, there's a lot of replays still missing. We're going to work on it. So stay tuned for the following days if you want to take a look, a deeper insight into MLG Dallas.
Definitely. I'll be looking for those videos since I missed nearly all the coverage, so I'm going to want to check those out. And if you're listening to this, guys, check out Hydra's channel. It's youtube.com/xhydrax. And if you want to check out Sebastian's great work, he's got plenty of pro gamer interviews and lots of other great StarCraft 2 news with his show GG Vision. Currently on hiatus because he's busy, but I mean, he's going to be coming back full force with great stuff. Check him out on youtube.com/Polygon Review. And for me, the Iceman, you can check out things that are going on our Twitter account. Trying to tweet a lot more, being more active, tweeting back at people who tweet at me. So add us at twitter.com/ggrated and give us a shout out. If you want to send us an email, liveshow@ggrated.net, and continue to tune in and spread the word and tell your friends. So thanks everybody who did tune in, and we will see you again next week, same place, same time. GG.
GG!
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.